Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel SS Analysis. First of all, I would like to tell you that if you are watching this video first time, subscribe my channel to see my more upcoming videos on analysis of different commodities and equity indices. And second important thing is to watch this video till its end to understand this solely to take your decision. Your one like will motivate me to be regular in working more hard for you. So let us start the day to analyze the movements of S&P 500 futures in a daily time frame. So here I would like to tell you that in a daily time frame, here you can see that currently the S&P 500 futures have been maintaining at the levels of 3130, where I find that above the levels of 3137 there is thick presence of peers between the range of 3137 to 3169. Here you can see that after facing a stiff resistance at the levels of 3221 from June 6 to June 8, the S&P 500 futures started to move downward and continued to remain in bearish pressure and tested the lows of 3000 on June 11. Once again, the S&P 500 futures tried to move upward, but again there was a heavy sell-off from the levels of 3086. So here I find that the levels of 3086 provides a stiff resistance in case of any upward move from these levels. And here you can see that once again the S&P 500 futures tried to break this level but could not. And here the S&P 500 futures tested the lows of 2927 on June 15, but from these levels this recovery was good enough to keep this uptrend intact, and this uptrend continued on June 16 too, when the S&P 500 futures tested the highs of 3168, where they found next immediate resistance here. And here you can see that since then the S&P 500 futures have formed lower lows and lower highs during these two trading sessions. And here you can see that the S&P 500 futures look too volatile on Friday, when the S&P 500 futures started the day with an opening at 3114, where they have tested a low of 3095 and a high of 3144, and currently maintaining at the levels of 3130. Here you can see that after testing the highs of 3144, the S&P 500 futures have been constantly facing stiff resistance at the levels of 3137, where I find that the thick presence of bears above the levels of 3137 looks evident enough to extend this bearish pressure till this weekly closing. Here I find that if the S&P 500 futures close this week below the levels of 3061, we will see the S&P 500 futures to remain very volatile during the upcoming weeks. So let me zoom this zone to make it more clear. Here you can see that in the daily time frame, the S&P 500 futures face stiff resistance at the levels of 3221. Whenever the S&P 500 futures try to sustain above this level, we can see here the S&P 500 futures found heavy sell-off from these levels, and the advent of this downward move started from June 10th. Here you can see that the S&P 500 futures formed an exhaustive candle on June 10th, and since then we have seen a sharp downward move on June 11th, which confirmed the continuity of a bearish pressure during the days ahead. But once again, here you can see that amid growing hopes for reopening of economies, despite growing number of coronavirus cases, the S&P 500 futures started to move upward, but here once again the S&P 500 futures found a stiff resistance at the levels of 3168 and started to move downward. Here you can see that this exhaustion was evident enough to show the growing selling pressure above the levels of 3127, and once again the S&P 500 futures formed one more exhaustive candle on June 17, when the S&P 500 futures tested the highs of 3158, and the selling continued from these levels, and once again this exhaustive candle was formed, and this selling pressure continued on June 18th, when the S&P 500 futures tested the lows of 3074 during this fall, and once again you can see that the S&P 500 futures formed stiff resistance at the levels of 3129, and today I find that the S&P 500 futures have been showing a constant move which looks full of suspicion. Here you can see that this move of June 19 shows that the investors are still expecting reopening of economy shortly despite the growing number of coronavirus cases not only in different parts of the US, but we have seen a steep growth in coronavirus cases in different parts of the world, which can crush the reopening hopes amid growing probabilities of more lockdowns during the days ahead. So therefore, I find that this selling pressure may continue and we will see the S&P 500 futures may continue to fall. And here you can see that below this downward trend line, we will see the S&P 500 futures will remain under heavy selling pressure, and I find that any upward move above this line will result in heavy sell-off where an immediate resistance will be found at the levels of 3128, and every upward rally above the levels of 3137 will be sold off during this week. And I find that a weekly closing this time below the levels of 3087, we will see the S&P 500 futures to remain under heavy bearish pressure during the upcoming week. So here I find that if the S&P 500 futures maintain this downward trend with lower lows and lower highs during the upcoming week, we will see the S&P 500 futures to take a steep downward move up to the levels of 2929, where we may find some bounce back from these levels. But here I find that any upward move between this range from the levels of 3137 to 3168 will be sold off. We will see the S&P 500 futures to witness heavy sell-off in case of any upward move, because here I find that there is a thick presence of bears between the range of 3137 to 3168. Here I find that the S&P 500 futures may find some support at the levels of 3087. This is the first immediate support for S&P 500 futures for the upcoming week. So friends, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to share this video with your more and more friends. Thank you.